Episode 241, 5 Local Government AI Use Cases.
The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful.
AI is a golden opportunity.
How do we ensure that this technology is regulated?
The long arc of technological history is now in an extraordinary new phase.
The AI 6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Local government can often be accused of being behind the curve and lacking innovation. However, in this episode, I'm sharing 5 remarkable case studies from local government in the UK, and I hope they may inspire you into AI action. Hello and welcome back to AI 6, the podcast that helps you embrace AI in just 6 minutes a day. I'm your host, Joanne Sweeney. I love an AI use case, and this week I'm speaking at the Head of Information Systems annual conference that's taking place in Galway. And so as part of that, I was preparing some relevant case studies, and I thought, hey, let me put them into a podcast episode. So they come from right across the UK, and they are Swindon's AI solution for easy read documents, Northumberland County Council's flood AI solution, South Cambridgeshire District Council's AI contact centre, Liverpool City Region and AI for Good, and finally Barnsley Council's Microsoft Copilot at scale case study. I've also created an infographic that you can find in the blog post associated with the podcast over at digitaltraining.ie or publicsectormarketingpros.com, because the podcasts are published on both of my websites. So a quick note before I share the case studies with you. All of these case studies were created by teams who identified a problem. They had data and knowledge, so a corpus, in order to create a solution, because as we know, data fuels AI innovation. They also had good governance and a willingness to iterate. And if you take anything from this episode, let it be the tech matters for the process, and the intelligence and the data of the humans matters just as much. So let's get into them. Swindon's AI solution for easy read documents, simply readable. This is one of those use cases that looks simple on the surface, but it is actually transformational. Swindon Borough Council used AI to produce easy-read versions of public documents for residents with learning disabilities. If you've ever had to commission easy-read content, you will know it's slow and it's expensive. Here, the cost per page went from about £120 to roughly 1 penny. Yeah, from £120 to 1p. Time-wise, what used to take around 2 weeks can now be done in about 15 minutes. They report a return on investment of 749,900%. Yes, even I was unsure if that was correct, but it is. So what it meant was they were able to be truly accessible by default to their citizens. They also open sourced the tool on GitHub so developers could access it. And that's a nice act of leadership. It allows other councils to copy, test, adapt and improve rather than all reinventing the wheel. Of course, quality control is really important. Easy-read formats have standards, and AI can get tone or clarity wrong, so you still need human review. But what a brilliant case study. The second one is Northumberland County Council's flood AI. Northumberland County Council uses machine learning to predict flash floods in vulnerable rural communities. The tool is called Flood AI. The council invested about £5.3 million, and the system currently protects 6 communities, issuing real-time flood warnings. This is classic AI for prevention, not just crisis response. In rural areas where traditional flood sensors and coverage can be patchy, predictive models can make a big difference, but only if the data inputs are strong. Weather data, river levels, land use, past flood patterns, and so on. The model is funded until 2027, which tells you that this is not just a pilot for pilot's sake, but the intention is long-term. They are committing to a multi-year run so they can keep improving accuracy and coverage. The third case study is South Cambridgeshire District Council's AI Contact Centre. South Cambridgeshire District Council built an AI contact centre using chatbots and voice bots to handle routine queries automatically. They had 93% accuracy, automated 27% of calls, and got to go live in about 2 months. They also reported a 98% mystery shopper rating. That's a very strong performance, especially at that speed. And the real win here is capacity. Routine calls around bins, council tax bookings, standard forms can clog up phone lines and frustrate staff. Automating a quarter of that frees humans up for complex or sensitive cases. Of course, the bots need to be trained in context, not just on content. If your bot only works for confident digital users, you may potentially widen the gap. And of course, you need to introduce escalation paths if somebody wants to bypass the bot and speak to a human. The fourth case study is Liverpool City Region's AI for Good project. Liverpool City Region ran an AI for Good initiative centred on a regional AI summit, aimed at driving investment and responsible innovation. They had over 300 attendees, and they credit the programme with helping create around 1,000 new AI jobs. They have also gained national AI exemplar status and are working with partners like IBM and Kyndryl. So what's the local government lesson here? It's that councils don't just use AI, they can shape the AI economy in their region. Think about bringing together universities, startups, employers, public services and citizens in the same room, having an AI hackathon, building a pipeline of skills and projects that fit local needs because local people know best. And then the final case study, Barnsley Council's Microsoft Copilot at scale. Barnsley Council rolled out Microsoft Copilot council-wide, and they did it properly with a champion network. They deployed 2,000 licenses, trained more than 150 champions, and achieved over 50% staff adoption. They were also named Double Council of the Year 2023, which gives you a clue about the wider culture they are working in. This is the AI for workforce productivity story. Really impactful. And what I like is the champion model. Tools do not spread by simply sharing a memo. Tools, capability and competency increases when humans help humans. They were part of a network. Champions reduce fear, share prompts, troubleshoot, and normalized experimentation. Adoption is not the same as value. You still need to track time saved, quality improved, and what risks you mitigated. But Barnsley have done the hard bit first. They've rolled out the tools, they've gathered a community of champions, and now they're implementing. So what are the lessons? Well, different councils, different problems, different solutions, different impacts. They picked routine issues. They also had the data. They also measured the outcomes, the cost per page, accuracy, the number of calls automated, the number of jobs created, the number of licenses deployed, the number of staff engaged. So you can't defend or scale AI without looking at your numbers. And also they treated this as transformation, as change, not just tech. They engaged in open source sharing, multi-year funding, having champions, human review, public trust. So, if you're a local government agency and you want to do AI, think about the why of your AI and use these case studies as inspiration. That's it for today's show. If you enjoyed the episode, please share it with a pro that you know, especially somebody working in local government. If you want me to help you develop your AI roadmap, make sure that you get in touch. You can book a call in my calendar by going to digitaltraining.ie, or if you're in government and public sector, go to publicsectormarketingpros.com. And don't forget, you can get a copy of AI Playbook, my new book, on Amazon, or if you're in Ireland listening to this podcast, you can jump over to aimarketingplaybook.ie. That's it for today. I will talk to you all tomorrow.